Back in November 2015, and we've maintained it consistently ever since. In fact, last month we finished out with $625,000 in sales, 8 elite leaders, and over 60,000 in our circle. So you could say we've hit black twice. Now, I don't say this to impress you. I say it because I want to qualify my experience on how you make that leap from green to black, because that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So anybody who has heard one of my presentations before, you will know that I don't describe my journey as a straight line to success. Not at all. I entered this business with a lot of fear, because I've never done network marketing before, so I had a fear of the unknown. I had a fear of failure. I had a fear of looking silly, of annoying my friends, all the fears that everybody has when they start a business like this. But I also had a great deal of excitement because I studied network marketing. I read the books and I saw what was possible, and I developed that amazing vision of what my life could be like. I had doubts as well, not so much with the company, not so much with the industry, but with myself. And I still do to this day. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, and self-development, brilliant to help you if you have self-doubts. I also have had a lot of celebrations. Every time I held a successful house party, every time I recruited someone, every time I made a sale, every time I promoted or one of my team members promoted, amazing celebrations. I've made a lot of mistakes, I've had some slap wrists, I've said the wrong thing, I've done the wrong thing, but every time I've made a mistake, I've learned from it. So it's not really a failure, it's a lesson. So yeah, it hasn't been a straight line to success, but you can see there is a general upward trend, and that general trend is powered by the resilience that you need in this business to get you through the fears and the doubts and the failures that you will come across. But resilience will get you to the top. So my first piece of advice today is to set yourself a goal, write it down somewhere where you will see it every single day. So when I first joined, and I think I was a yellow status presenter, I made myself a vision board, and the background colour was pink. It said pink status in big bold letters, and it had pictures of every goal that I wanted to achieve on my way to pink, and it was a screensaver on my phone. So every time I turned my phone on to work my business, there was my goal, clear as day, I couldn't escape it. When I went pink, it changed to blue. When I went blue, it changed to green. And there came a day when I could write my goal of black status within 1 year. We did it in 11 months. So write down your goals. Now, the other thing I would like to say is make a public announcement to everyone you know about how serious you are about your business. Because I was 3 months in, I was pink status, and I made a very brazen statement on my timeline. And that statement was, within the next 2 years, I will be a 6-figure earner, and I'm gonna do it doing something I love and on my terms. That was quite the statement to make. Got a lot of interaction on my timeline. If you're not ready to make a statement like that, you might be in this business with 1 foot thinking, well, you know, I'll give it my best shot, we'll see how it goes. With me, I was in this business with both feet. I burnt my boats, that was it. This is my life, I'm gonna make it work, this is my future. And I was dead set on that, and I was ready to tell the whole world. That did many things for me and my mindset. First of all, it showed everybody that I believed in myself, and if you don't believe in yourself, who else will? So they know that I meant business. They knew that I was taking this seriously. I also didn't want to look silly, so I couldn't fail. I had to make it work after saying that. My next piece of advice, get to know the comp plan inside out. I'm not going to go into too much detail today because we're going to cover this in greater detail tomorrow, but I will say that when I was green status, I knew exactly what I had to do to hit orange, but beyond that, I knew exactly what I had to do to hit purple, because the last thing you want is to achieve orange status and then be tripped up by your circle at purple. So I was constantly planning ahead, and I knew that comp plan inside out. Now, the good news is every single person in this room is at least a green status leader. And from here on out, it's just about building leaders. It's about bringing women into this business and showing them to do what you've already done, to walk your path. So it's my honest, genuine belief that if you can get to green in this business, then you can get to black. My next piece of advice is to plan early to avoid near misses, because there's nothing more heartbreaking than when one of your ladies misses their promotion by a hair's breadth. So what I do is I analyse my back office every single month. I have a look at what's next on the comp plan. What do you need to achieve to get that next promotion? How did you finish the month out? Where are your weaknesses? Identify them and then focus your energy there. So I'm going to give you an example of an orange status presenter who's aiming for purple. So we all know a purple status presenter needs 4 qualified recruits. So if the most you've ever had is 3 qualified recruits, then you need to get your sponsoring hat on and you need to bring in new motivated ladies into your business. You need a $6,000 circle at purple. So when your second lady goes elite, what does that do to your circle? Are you going to struggle? Because if so, you need to get working with your circle ladies and you need to get your recruiting hat on and bring in new motivated ladies. You need 2 elites to go purple. So do you have 2 runners in your team who are looking likely to hit green the next month? How did they finish off the last month? If you have 2 runners who are looking likely to hit their promotion, then that's where you need to focus your energy with those ladies. You need to give them the tools, the inspiration, you need to spend time with their teams, shouting them out and making them believe that they can do it. And if you don't have those runners, then you need to get your recruiting hat on and you need to bring in new motivated ladies. The other thing I want to say about avoiding near misses is you have to start the month believing you can do it. Because so many times I've seen ladies on my team say, I'm not going to do it this month. My company just isn't big enough to hit the promotion. A lot can happen in a month. And what they haven't accounted for is the organic growth that they're going to see in the team they've already built. You've already recruited ladies, they're recruiting themselves, they're getting better at house parties, they're building their client base, so you are going to see organic growth. And then a lady will get 3 weeks into the month, and then they'll be closer than they ever thought they would be. And then they spend the last week playing catch up, and they miss it by a smidgen. And it breaks my heart when that happens, when if they came into the month believing they could do it, it would have been in the bag. So always start the month with the right mindset, and knowing that you can do it. My next piece of advice is to learn to map. It's a really essential skill to learn. It's going to help you in so many ways. So it teaches you to take accountability for your business. It will show you what ladies on your team are gunning for their next promotion so you can work with them. It's going to show you who is tracking behind throughout the month so that you can give them a little bit of extra support. It's going to show you if your business is big enough in its current form to hit your next promotion. And it's going to show you the contribution that you need to make yourself to hit your next promotion. So I did this with my whole team when I was aiming for black. It's a bit hard when you've got 4,000 ladies on your team, so now I do it with my circle, but I would encourage you to do it with your whole team as you're aiming for your next promotion. So the example I'm going to give you is a lady aiming for orange. So the first thing I do is I write down the names of all of the active ladies in my team, all the ladies working their business. And then I'll message them to find out what it is that they want out of the business this month. Because you have to work towards their goals, not your goal. Because if they feel like you're pushing them just so you can hit your next promotion, then you will push them away. But if they feel like you're doing it because you really genuinely want them to hit their promotion, then they will work much harder than if it was just for you. Then I write down what they need to achieve in PRS to accomplish that goal. remembering to add on 25% if it's a company wholesale goal. I then add up the totals of all of the PRS, again remembering to add on 25%, and that will give you, if every single person in your company hits their goals in a perfect world, what you will achieve. So you can see that this lady has achieved orange, she's got her company wholesales, she's got her circle, and she's got her green elite. So she can now plan out her contribution to the business. So I've written down 1,500 PRS and recruit 3 because I believe in the 5-3 formula, which is recruit a minimum of 3 ladies into your business a month and sell a minimum of 500 PRS. Obviously, if she was going to be missing out on her promotion more than, if she was going to miss out on the promotion, then she would need to up that. But you don't stop there. Once you've mapped out your back office, you can begin mapping out your pinks and blues and teach them to do it. Because if everybody in your organisation is mapping out their back office, then you're going to see some incredible duplication. So we have 3 core activities in this business. We sell, we sponsor, and we mentor. You need to learn to sell. You need to learn to sell because you need to teach other ladies to sell. So my business plan when I came into this was to hit my PRS as quickly as possible so I could focus on all the other areas of my business. So this really pushed me out of my comfort zone to hold house parties, because I soon found that house parties were the fastest way to get good PRS. And what this did was it freed up my time to do what was really going to grow my business in a residual way, and that was to bring ladies in to sponsor. Sponsoring takes, I think out of all the activities, that's the one that takes the longest to learn, because you need to learn to communicate with people. You need to learn to build rapport with people. You need to learn, I'm not going to say scripts, but certain buzzwords that work. Then you need to practice. Then you get rejected. And rejection is really important. You need it. You need the no's to get the yeses. But because this is uncomfortable and because it takes time, it's the activity that people generally tend to avoid the most. It's the one activity that's going to grow you more than anything else. And the minute you decide to put your energy into recruiting is the moment you're going to see a burst of momentum in your business. Mentoring, really important as well. Everybody in this that you bring into this business needs your help and support. But what I see is ladies getting way too hung up on mentoring way too early. And what I see happen is women come to me and they think they're a bad leader because they brought in 15 girls to the business. And their mindset has had a shift away from building their business and onto helping all of their ladies hit green status. We're all going to do it together. And the ladies that are with me now, they're the ones that are going to be with me at Black. And in a perfect world, yes, but it's not a perfect world. And in actual fact, out of those 15 ladies, I think everyone in this room knows, you'll probably have about 3 runners. And even then, they might not run with you forever. So you're not a bad leader, you just haven't got a team that wants to be led yet. So never get hung up on mentoring at the cost of building your own business. Which brings me on to my next slide, which is to continue to build wide. So everybody here is green and above, so you know that building to green, and more importantly, maintaining green, is all about finding your army, building your front line and building wide. Not a month should go by that you're not recruiting. I aim for a minimum of 5 to 10 a month, and if it's any less than that, then I'm disappointed in myself. And the minute you decide to have a couple of months off recruiting is the minute you set yourself up for a loss of momentum. So always keep building your business. Now with my team, Vanity Flair, I made it very clear from the get-go that I was going to support them. I was going to be there for them when they need me. I love my team dearly, but I'm not going to run their business for them. I've got my own business to run. And because I had that mentality, they had that mentality. And that's why duplication in our team is so good, because people do what you do. They don't do what you tell them to do. They saw the success I was having, and so they watched what I was doing, and they repeated it. It's also worth mentioning at this point that building wide is really financially beneficial, because when you have a large circle, you're paid really well on it. Building deep, that's what gives you the stability in your business. So now this is so easy now, because corporate have given us the ability to sort our back office. To me, this is an absolute godsend, because you can go into your royalties section on your website. You can select the back office for your circle, for your whole company, for your directs. And when you're in that back office, you can then sort it into producers. How amazing is that? So thank you so much for that addition. It really helps with duplication. Yeah, once you have ladies that want to be led, then you need to put on the duplication activities like building block groups, training groups, periscopes. These things are time consuming, so make sure that your ladies are appreciating your time. Don't forsake your recruiting for duplication activities. Okay, my team are very familiar with this analogy. I promise it's the last time I'm going to pull it out. Matt Morris has a really good analogy that describes this so well, and I want to add a disclaimer and say that I'm not putting anyone down. A lot of eagles start out as chickens, but basically Matt Morris says that there's two kinds of people that come into your business. You've got your chickens and you've got your eagles. And a chicken will come up to you, and you all know these girls in your business, and they will say, "No one's buying from me." And so you say, "Well, how many parties are you holding?" And they'll say, "No one wants to hold a party." And so you pick the chicken up and you give them all the tools they need, all the resources they need to get those parties booked in, give them a self-development book to read, and you throw the chicken in the air hoping it's going to fly. But it's not long before she's coming back and she's saying, "No one wants to join me." And you say, "Well, how many people have you spoken to?" "Well, I asked my mum and my sister and they didn't want to join me." So you say, you've got to speak to a lot of people in this business, and pick the chicken up, you give them some resources, you give them a self-development book to read, and you send the chicken off to fly. But it's not long before they come back, and there's always some external reason as to why this isn't working for them. And then they don't take accountability for figuring it out themselves. You can spend a lot of time dealing with chickens in this business when there are so many eagles out there ready to soar. Eagles you will never hear from because they're too busy finding their own YouTube mentors, they're too busy getting parties booked in, finding ladies to join their team, and these are the ladies that you want. So my advice to you is that you spend 80% of your time working your business and only 20% with your team. So how do you split your time with your team? Because everybody deserves your time. Chickens, eagles, if you brought someone into this business, they've put their trust in you and it's your duty to support them. I have two very different ways of looking after my team. 90% of the people who come into my business, I train them in group. And what that means is in my Facebook group, on training days, at events, periscopes, team calls. Nadine Ward once said to me, "Don't do for one person what you could do for 100, and that really stuck with me because I was running around in circles with my time. So that's your chickens. They're the ladies who are waiting for that penny drop moment to take accountability. The remaining 10%, they are your eagles, and like I said, you don't hear from them much, but they're the ones that I build relationships with. They're the ones that I give the one-on-one training. They're the ones that I spend a lot of time with. Now, ironically, it's the 90% you deal with in group that will demand most of your time. And it's the eagles, the 10% who won't ask a thing of you. Whether they know it or not, they're the ones who deserve your time. So identify and nurture key people in your organisation. Reach down, find those superstars. Again, you can sort your back office so you can find them so easily now. The 80-20 rule. This is something that I learned very early on. 80% of your productivity is going to come from a small 20% of your team. And the reason I say this to you is because I don't want you to be discouraged by zeros, because it's the same across all back offices, across all network marketing companies, and actually across most industries. You have the 80-20 rule. So don't be discouraged by zeros, and don't be discouraged when you see one lady who is excelling, because I see this a lot. People say, what am I doing wrong? You know, my team is doing so well. You found an eagle. You've just got to find another 3 now. So it's a really good thing. Now, ultimately, the reason why we're all doing this is because we want freedom. Am I wrong? It's not so much about the money, it's about freedom. And I can tell you unequivocally, with no argument, no debate, that the easiest way from point A to point B is education. When you educate yourself, you give yourself value. When you have value, you have success. People will come to you more, people will want to join you. So absolutely work on yourself and never, ever stop. Like Kirsty said, you just cannot outgrow your personal development. Now you're green leaders and above, you might want to change what you read a little bit, because what got you here won't necessarily get you there. So when I went green, I started reading lots and lots of books on leadership, like The 4 Colour Personalities of MLM, How to Build Network Marketing Leaders, Volume 1 and 2. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. There's so many out there. So I would start researching what makes a good leader, and success mindset as well. It was once said, it's been said many times, that network marketing is a course in self-development with a comp plan attached, and I couldn't agree more. So by now, you're all learning to master your emotional state, because we do have ups and downs, and this can be an emotional journey. Most of the downtimes, it comes from negative self-talk, and that's something that we really need to learn to control. Ultimately, it boils down to fear. And when it comes to fear, we're only born with 2 fears, the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. And everything else we've learned, and it can be unlearned, so get rid of it, because it doesn't serve you. So I'm going to finish today by reading a passage from a book. Again, my team have heard this before, I promise this is the last time. But this passage had such a profound effect on me that I wanted to share it with every single one of you today. Because it really teaches you how to not let your fear make your decisions for you. So it's from the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and she takes her fear and her creativity on a road trip. But before she leaves on this road trip, she writes a letter to her fear, and it goes, "Dearest fear, creativity and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand that you will be joining us because you always do. I acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life, and that you take your job very seriously. Apparently, your job is to induce complete and utter panic in me whenever I'm about to do something interesting. And may I say that you are superb at your job. So by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must. But I will also keep doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and to remain focused. And creativity will also be doing its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us, so make yourself at home. But understand this, creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decisions along the way. I recognize and respect that you are part of this family, so I will never exclude you from our activities. But still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed a seat. You're allowed a voice. But you are not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to touch the road maps. You're not allowed to suggest detours. You're not allowed to fiddle with the temperature. And dude, you're not even allowed to touch the radio. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend, you are absolutely forbidden to drive. Thank you.